3 streaming some Rocket League and testing out my mic audio. This is 3v3 on the All-Star setting. Win pretty consistently here, so I've recently gone up to playing 1v2s, trying to give myself more of a challenge, but those tend to not be as interesting for the streaming crowd so far because I kind of get my ass kicked. This is the third test of the mic audio. I'm a bit more optimistic this time. I realized my mistake. The Sony headset has the microphone built into the earpiece, and I was wearing it backwards. So off to a great start here. So the microphone was in the back of my head instead of the front. So hopefully audio should be coming across a bit more clearly now. Starting to feel a bit repetitive as this is the third audio test and I've kind of been talking about the same things, but definitely worth pointing out that I've heard streamers talk about how it's hard to focus on, chatting and playing the game at the same time, and I kind of thought that was silly, but turns out they're absolutely right. Certainly harder to focus, harder to pay attention to what I'm doing when I'm also trying to keep a conversation going with myself. I think of the 2 audio test games so far, I am 1-1, so we'll call this the tiebreaker. Hopefully the audio is good on this one, and we'll jump into some Mighty Number 9. Talked about my strategy when playing Rocket League. It's kind of the game of halves for me, mostly because that's how the AI operates. They tend to be very aware of which half the ball is on, and they will change their behavior drastically depending on where that is. That seems like an obvious thing, but I think it's a bit more drastic than people realize. As soon as the ball crosses this way, they will aggressively come in and chase. And as soon as it crosses the other way, even if there's nobody around it, there's no promising advance from the opponent, they will drop back immediately. They would walk away from a perfect opportunity to score or to reposition. If the ball's across that plane, they'll drop back. So I kind of stay back, watch where things are going. I try to put the ball in the right place when I can, but mostly just try to keep the ball on this side of the line. Again, seems obvious, but in practice it's a little more effective than you might think. I would not call myself good by any means at Rocket League. I hold my own against the AI, but I think the AI is pretty predictable. They're not that hard. I also very jokingly consider myself a setup man. I get a lot of assists in these games. I kind of goof around and hit the ball towards the goal and on the right side, and the computer's pretty good about popping it in for me. They're a lot more accurate than I am. So the benefit of these 3 audio tests is we'll have a lot of footage of me completely missing the ball. Failing to be effective at Rocket League at all. I mentioned in one of the early videos that unfortunately the audio is terrible on. I don't know if they've changed the starting positions in the latest patch or randomized them or removed some. There was one position that was always after the 4th goal. So there were 5 different starting positions, and number 4 was the one I could get a almost always guaranteed goal. I just don't I don't see that as a starting position. It's definitely not number 4 anymore, at least not consistently. I haven't played enough since the patch to know if it's gone completely or if it's just randomized now. If it's patched out, fine. That's it's a pretty big flaw in my opinion. Good for them for patching it out, but I kind of miss it. Kept me in some games sometimes. try not to keep things too quiet on the stream here, unless I'm taking a drink from my beer. If I'm streaming, there's pretty good chance alcohol's involved. Once I start up the Mighty Number 9 stream, I'll talk about what I'm drinking, what I've had to drink tonight, and how many drinks I've had, because it certainly contributes to my ability to play, especially Mega Man-inspired games or Mega Man itself. Down to about a minute here. I think this has actually been the most competitive of the games I've streamed so far tonight. I certainly feel a bit of a disconnect focusing on what I'm talking about and the actual game. I'm not as into it as usual, but I think I'll get used to it. So when it starts like that, where the ball kind of sits right around half, like, I'll do whatever it takes just to nudge it across. At that point, my team will come in and start trying to attack instead of dropping back and being useless for a while. So we cross it, everybody comes in. The other thing that's predictable about the AI is they play a lower game. They play pretty low to the ground. I don't do any crazy aerial stuff either, but if you're willing to hop up just a little sooner, a little higher than those guys, you can kind of win the position battle most of the time. Alright, there we go. Another game in the books. Another win. I'm going to stop the stream here. We'll log out, check the audio. I am optimistic on this one. I hope it's going to be better, and hopefully I'll be back in a few minutes playing some Mighty Number 9.